economic alarms go off in a country, spotlights would be all over its government, and the people would be shouting and booing that government for causing the economy's failure. Yet the responsibility of the private sector in contributing to these crises is completely ignored. The reason for this disregard is the belief that the government is responsible for controlling and directing the private sector. But this is not necessarily true. The private sector has, to a large extent, the freedom in behavior and in conduct. Now, there may be certain control policies and hindrances on the amount of trade, but there are no controls on how to trade. Some traders contribute to the destruction of the economy in a manner that may be somewhat greater than the contribution of a government political failure. We will shed light on some of the wrong practices of such traders. First, the purchasing currency. In Yemen and most of the Middle East countries, private consumption is commonly very high, and most of it from imports. Depending on the purchasing currency of the imports, the exchange rates are impacted, and this impact is reflected on the GDP. Second, the reckless trader attitude. A reckless trader normally visits a country and goes to the local market or visits an online shopping platform that are not tax exempt, and then buys some goods and returns them back to his country to sell it to local consumers. Other traders buy goods from the third or fourth resellers, for instance, buying goods from the USA that are manufactured and sold in Indonesia. Such trading has substantial negative impact on importing countries. When a product is produced in a country, this particular commodity is normally subject to several government taxes, some such as income tax, labor tax, profit tax, sales tax, environmental tax, and several other taxes, which in turn increase the cost of that commodity. These added costs go to the exporting government. Additionally, marketing, shipping, warehousing, and showcasing and other costs are added. Then, when this product arrives, the importing government charges duties for customs, profit tax, income tax, and sales tax, raising the price even further. Now, depending on the trader's sanity, he could increase the price by charging a small profit, but mostly reckless traders aim high. So, the exporting government takes some, the importing country takes some, and the trader takes some, and finally the local consumer pays for everyone. A better alternative scenario would have the trader make similar items with the help of local workers. The prices would be low, workers would feed their loved ones, and consumers would pay less. Now, another bad behavior some traders do is avoid paying taxes. This, although it seems fair to some traders, creates enormous harm to the economy. First, traders will not reduce the price because that would blow their cover, so traders will enjoy the returns from unpaid taxes. Second, governments depend on taxes to provide more infrastructure, such as schools, hospitals, and roads. And third, instead of tax avoidance in the importing country, traders can look for tax exemptions from exporting countries, like buying from free trade zones. Excessive fortune from bad money creates further corruption, and more importantly, a decrease in governments earning from taxes, which leads to a decrease in the infrastructure level and therefore more loans and more debt. These all present a great harm to the national economy. And finally, extraordinary profits. In a free and non-communist society, the achievement of profits is the driving force behind the growth of business. Doubling profits is not necessarily harmful to the economy. On the contrary, it develops the state's revenues, but the problem lies when these profits grow and wages stagnate. This widens the gap between the poor and the rich. It creates an unstable business environment, discourages human capacities, and destroys the spirit for innovation and creativity. Moreover, because the trader's profits come at the expense of the price of the commodity, the Yemeni consumer bears high costs for products that could have been obtained at a lower cost.